I'll be adding in all the Visual Basic code into the description of the YouTube video so that you can follow along. Once I recorded it, I realized you couldn't see the actual code very well. So, hello, we're going to work today on a pretty simple little thing called a do loop. Do loops are really simple, which is what I like about them, but they can also do a lot of really cool stuff inside of your code. Most of these things aren't something that you would set up, and this is what you're going to write a whole Visual Basic macro just to do this do loop, but you use it in connection inside of some of your other more complex macros, and it can do some things for you and really help you out and get some things accomplished. So we're going to do, the first one I'm going to show you is just kind of how they're set up and what they can do. So you set up, it uses parameters. So you create your parameters first. And so RW, that's going to be your row, equals 3. Your column's going to equal 1, as you can see here on the screen. And your end row is going to be 100. Now, you set those parameters and then you put it in the if statements down here using those instead of rows or ranges or whatever. It just makes it easier to write. And I don't even know if it'd work if you did it any other way. But so do, we get right into the do statement. Do while row is less than the end row. While the end row is smaller, while the row is smaller than the end row, we want you to do this. So if cell row column, so you're picking a row and a column here, is greater than 0, then, just a basic if statement, then in the same row, same column, change the value to check. That ends the if statement part of this. Then you do row, you set this parameter up here as row 3. Then you wanted to change it to row 3 plus 1, and then you wanted to loop, do the whole thing again. That's why the end row is so important, is you need something that makes it stop, because if you don't, this thing will just keep going. So that's sort of how this thing's set up. So we've got 2 or 3 over here that are positive, and let's see how this works. So let's go and run some macro, run it, boom, they changed the word check, and that's what we wanted it to do. So let's go to example 2, which is using the same data set, but I wanted to add a little wrinkle. And that's the great thing about do loops. You can just keep adding little wrinkles until it's doing some pretty impressive things. So what I did is I added a second column, CLN equals 2, column 2. So it looks all the same. So you see it's CLN is greater than 0 then, but what I want the if statement to do, it's CLN and change the value to positive. Everything else is the same, but instead of making the modification in the original column, you're making it in a second column. So let's see how that works. Should be pretty much flawless as well. So let's go to example 2 here, hit run. Positive. Okay. Now, so you've seen a couple of little wrinkles. Now let's put it together in something that's a little more, a couple of little more wrinkles. So that's what I like about these do loops, is they can get really flexible. So you'll see right here, sub example, everything's the same, but here things start looking a little different. If the value is like 9 with a wildcard splat, that's the wildcard key, then I want to copy that cell and I want to paste it over one into column number 2. And in column number 1, I wanted to write accounting. So let's say you've got a call center. It's your company's broke down. It's got 20 different call centers. You want it in, they'll come out in one sheet. You want it to be able to, get into the right, you want it to, I don't know I'm suddenly having a blank moment here, but you want to, be able to quickly see by words instead of numbers what all these different cost centers are and where all this money's going out of your accounts. So if you put 2 or 3 loops together, or 20 loops together, however many, you'll see that you quickly go through. And so in this second one here, I've got it, if it's a 2 with a wild card, that's sales. If it's a 8 with a wild card, that's marketing. And then you just run 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 loops together, and it knocks it right out. Now there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat, obviously. You could be doing VLOOKUPs, things like that. But if you're inside of your macro, this can be a real quick, easy way to do something. So let's show you what this kind of looks like. Run. And before you know it, now you notice it took a little bit of time there. So if you start getting in big data sets, really big data sets, and you do a do loop, that may not be the most efficient way to do it. But for little bits of code, to do this really, have all this flexibility, it's a pretty handy little thing to have. So I thought I learned about it, I played with it a little bit more, I thought I'd make a little video to share it with anyone else out there that's wondering about do loops and if statements and maybe even a little bit of wildcard. But it's important that if you're using those wildcards, you have to have the word like there, value like this. Else it doesn't seem to work as well, or it doesn't work. So anyway, that's one novice to another. Hope y'all enjoy. Thank you.